Hey guys, just thought I'd do a quick video. There's some rugby news that broke today. First thing, of course, was Warwick Gelant going to the Stormers. I thought exceptional thing for him to come back. Of course, you would also argue, did the agent do the right thing taking him to France? He obviously wasn't happy there, and he missed out on a World Cup spot because he went to France. Let's be honest. I mean, he could have stayed at the Stormers, got to the final with them to the UFC, and probably would have still been in the Springbok squad. But because he didn't, he missed out on that. He's probably had a setback and he'll have to fight his way back into that squad. But good to see him back at the Stormers. Great player. I think Warwick will fit in very well with the Stormers back three again, and he'll be like he never left. I reckon he's going to have a big season this coming season. I think he's back home where he wanted to be. I've worked with him at the Bulls. He's an exceptional player. A hell of a talent, and I think he'll do very well at the Stormers there. So well done, Warwick. Well, they're returning well in the Stormers with Courtnos Kusan and Ben Loader that they've signed. They're going to have quite a potent backline. The one concern is, of course, what happens to Damian Willemse now. Does he continue to play 15? Does Warwick at the centres? Does Damian play centres? And how does that affect the national outlook? That we'll have to see. The other news today is that Newcastle Falcons have signed Michael van Vuuren, who played at the Lions last year and was overseas before that. Very well travelled hooker. Interesting number of the Lions players have left. I think we'll probably do a video on all the transfers and that sometime next week, and just where teams stand at the moment, who's in and who's out from a South African point of view. But interesting to see he's gone to Newcastle. They've signed a number of players now for the coming season, and hopefully he does well there. So yeah. And then finally, the Bulls have gone and confirmed their coaches. Now, not that we didn't already know this, because I mean, I still wrote an article in Report last weekend about Kennedy Tsumba and Gary Gold being signed by the Bulls. They've now confirmed all this, their signings of their coaches. Of course, there's been a number of coaching departures from the Bulls in the off-season. Gert Smallhuiger from us, Sean Everett. Sean's gone to Edinburgh. He's going to be the new Edinburgh coach. Pine Pinar, and who's gone to help Namibia in the World Cup, and Nollis Murray have all sort of left them as well. And then now they've brought in Gary Gold, Jean Tit, Kennedy Tsumba, and Pee-wee Nomlomo. And just to let you know a bit more about them, obviously Gary Gold's an old hand, coached USA, narrowly missed out on qualifying for the World Cup, lost by a point to Chile, and I think lost by a point to Portugal. So Gary, also ex-Springbok assistant coach with Peter de Villiers, well-travelled coach, ex-Sharks coach. He's apparently his focus is going to be on defence. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles that one. Jake's, of course, still running the show everywhere. Then Pee-wee Nomlomo, who's moved to Gauteng because his wife works up here. He's been away from his wife for quite a while. He was at the Sharks, very well versed coach. SA Schools coach, and really well rated by a lot of guys. Him and Kennedy Tsumba, who needs no introduction. Kennedy, of course, the Cheetahs and Zimbabwean Flav, ex-rapper. He even brought out a rap single, played for the Bulls in the early 2000s. Really great guy, and really not the type of Bulls Flav that you normally would see anyway. But him and Pee-wee are going to be starting a skills academy. So my friend Sim Nikiwe wrote that story this week on Sport 24, and it's going to be interesting. They're going to try and bring through a lot more players and get them a bit more up to speed in terms. So I know it sounds strange, skills, but focusing on skills at a national level. Even the Springboks have Mzwandile Stick who does it. It's an extremely important part, and I know people think, they should have the skills by then, but it's not about teaching skills, it's about honing skills. Jean Tit, who's done exceptional work at Puka on defence, a great defence, one of the rising stars in South African rugby. He's very highly rated, so we're going to see how he does, but let's see, the Bulls have snapped him up, and it'll be very interesting to see the changes he makes to the defensive system for the Bulls as well. But some interesting signings by the Bulls. Of course, have made a number of player signings as well. Now we'll go through that in a video this coming week. But still, it's going to be interesting. I think that the big thing is, for me, are these guys going to be able to challenge Jake? Because I think that's part of the problem there at the Bulls, is that it's too much of a centralised structure. I think it has its drawbacks. We saw last year when Jake went to hospital when he had the medical emergency. how they struggled, and I think that's the one thing that really worries me a bit about the situation about the Bulls. But all four of these guys are highly rated, highly skilled. It's going to be interesting to see how they fit in there and how the mix at the Bulls sort of comes together. Let me know what you think about those signings. I'll do, as these things break in future, I'll do some more of these as well. And leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching this. Cheers.